Oh, all right. I am going to get started here. I'm not sure how many people are going to join today, but the information is really educational and great. So today's webinar is how to communicate your value with branding. And this webinar is approved for CU credits of 0.1. Do a little housekeeping. If you have any questions during the presentation, type them into the chat box and we will be answering them at the end of the presentation during the Q&A. Now, if you put something in there, Taylor also, who's on our team and amazing, she might be answering your questions too. And then feel free, if you have any technical issues or anything like that, reach out to Taylor. So let's get started. Are you not attracting the right type of clients? Are you not able to charge as much as you want for your services? Your brand is how your company is perceived by those who experience it. This is super important, and I'm going to say it again. Your brand is how your company is perceived by those who experience it. So you might have one perception of what your company is about, how your company is being perceived. Clients who've worked with you, they have a perception of all the value you offer and how you are perceived. Also, your online brand, your website, your social media pages, your logo, all of it, how somebody who hasn't met you and they look at your company online, they are also judging you and deciding, like, think about how they're perceiving you. So everybody can have their own perspective. What we want is we want the people online who haven't met you to perceive your company as high value as it really is. If this is your first time here, I'm Debra Scarpa. Right next to me in the photo is Ashley Blazing. She's our operations manager and amazing. We also have Taylor here. We do have a team of copywriters, programmers, designers, social media experts, SEO experts. We help interior designers transform their brands to get found online, win their dream clients, and work smarter by streamlining their processes. I am super passionate about all three of these: helping you get found online, winning your dream clients, and helping you work smarter and streamlining your processes. They're all super important. And like I said, we specialize in branding, websites, marketing, local SEO, improving your processes. And I am very big into education, as you can see, because if you don't know what you don't know, right? I'm here to help you. This course is approved by NKBA. So we are NKBA members and they have approved this course. Taylor will be putting in chat the information, the course title, instructor, delivery method, CU credit. She'll put that in chat for your records if you need to copy and paste it. We'll also, when we're sending out the recording, we'll be sending out a certificate. So if you need a certificate to report it to other associations or keep track of it, then you'll have that. Today's agenda: branding. Why is your branding so important? Google business profile and online reviews. First impression and perceived value. brand experiences and brand assets, elements of your brand that build trust. So we're going to go over all of those elements. And like I said, this course is approved for CEU credits, and I'm sure Taylor already put that into chat. She'll also put, if you haven't signed up for our free brand website and SEO audit, definitely do that. Taylor will put a link into chat. I spend about a half an hour reviewing your brand online, doing a full audit, and then I have a meeting with you where we go over that audit. It is super high value and definitely gives you clarity into what needs to change in order to get those, get found online better, get your ideal clients, win better, bigger projects, improve your processes. That's like so important. So let's just start out by really understanding how your ideal client is searching online. So the first step is the traffic. So just like if you're building a house, you have to have a road that's going there, right? If you just build the house and there's no road, then nobody's going to get there. So one is traffic. Traffic can come from somebody doing a search and finding you through Google Maps, local SEO, social media, referrals. Like, you need to have traffic coming to your website. Two is the website. Think about your website's job. It has a job. Its job is to generate interest, build trust, and convert. And then the goal is to get qualified lead, right? So think about your ideal client. A prospect has to go through each one of these steps. There has to be traffic, then they have to go to your website. Everybody is going to check you out on your website. So don't think that nobody is going there. If they're interested, they're going to your website to validate your company, to see if they're interested. So the website's job, generate interest, build trust, convert, get them to take that next step. Why is your brand positioning so important? Because a lot of people might not understand the value and that how it is impacting your business. So your prospects are searching online. I'm going to walk through why it's important. So here, your prospects are searching online. So this is using, this reporting is using our tool SEMrush. It's an SEO tool. It shows us which keywords people are using to search with, what the volume is. So just, if we're looking at interior designers near me, like the monthly volume is over 22,000. So, and there's a lot of smaller keywords too. It's just not those big keywords too. So people are searching online, and absolutely our clients are getting business online and larger projects. So if you're thinking that those clients aren't online, I'm here to tell you that our clients are getting bigger jobs from people finding them online. So just think about if you're going out to a restaurant and you're searching online, people are searching for your services the same way. So they're searching interior designer near me. Then they're going and they're looking at who has the most reviews. So they're probably going to open up the website. So the people that have the most reviews, maybe 3 websites, maybe 5, but they're going to look at those reviews. They're going to open those websites. And then people have a super short attention span. So think about, you have about 3 seconds for them to get interested. 1, 2, 3, maybe 10, but not much time at all. Are they interested? Are they not interested? And they're closing the tab and looking at somebody else. That's how fast people are making decisions. So online, you need to be perceived as a professional company, not like a company that is doing design as like a hobby. You want to show your true value. The website and your brand and your online presence should be as high quality as your work. So I like to think about it as needs to match, the feeling needs to match the type, the style of your work. Like if somebody's standing in one of the rooms that you designed and the feeling that they get, like, I love this, like that's the same type of feeling I want them to get when they've visited your brand online. A good way to check out your competition is to do like interior designer near me. Pull up the maps. Look at who has the reviews. Is your space really competitive or is it not as competitive? You know, I always, when I'm working with somebody, look it up, because if you're in a really competitive space, you're going to have to step on the gas more than if you're in a space that's not as competitive, right? So like this one, when you have, you know, a lot of really high reviews and like really professional websites, there's more competition. You're going to have to do more to be in that top 3 to 5. Does that make sense? A strong website and brand identity will set your business apart from your competition. So when they pull up those 3 to 5, of course, you need the Google reviews too, but when they pull up the, you know, the top 3 to 5, you want to be one of those top businesses that they are interested in. Position you as an authority, a company that they can trust with a larger project, right? They need to trust you. Generate more leads. Like if they trust you, see you as an authority, you look professional, you're going to get more leads. You're going to win larger projects. You're going to attract, you know, your dream client. You're also going to sell your projects for more. You know, they're going to be seeing you as an authority. It's going to validate your company online, and your revenue is going to increase. It is so important to look professional online, and your brand should match the style of your work. Or at least, I know we have some designers where, you know, every project, the style is a little bit different, which is fantastic. That's not a problem, but the overall brand needs to not compete with your work. Your work needs to be the element that kind of shines. It's like we're showing off the work. Is your online brand being perceived? Like, how is it being perceived? How do you want it to be perceived? So do you think that it's on target or is it off? Are you embarrassed to send people to your website? To me, that's a warning sign that it's not matching up with what you're really delivering. And when we take clients through strategy, I can tell you that like every time our clients, the designers, are communicating, like telling us all these things that they're doing that are not being communicated online. So it's about really understanding the true value that you're delivering and communicating that in, you know, in the copy, in the whole look and feel and the layout, in your whole brand, so it tells the right story. So I want to show you a couple of samples, and through this webinar, I have several samples because I really want you guys to understand like the perceived value. You really have to experience it in order to understand. So like here's Holly's website before, and then here is her after, right? So the perceived value of this company, which is the same company, right? Versus this one, like this one, she looks like she's doing it more, you know, as a hobby, right? Not as professional. This one, somebody would perceive her brand as, you know, her, you know, doing larger projects. Somebody would perceive this company as, you know, getting paid more. They would assume that they would be paying this company more than this company, right? If you're finding that you're getting the smaller jobs and you're not getting those bigger clients, you're not getting, you know, you're having more, just the smaller projects versus the larger ones. It might be the way people are perceiving your company that you're not attracting those larger clients. Is your prospect's perception of you online the same as it is in person? So think about when a client starts working with you and you're off, you know, you're offering them, you're doing all these, you're delivering all this, an amazing end result, an amazing service. And they're like, oh my gosh, I never knew you did all this. That means that what you're really delivering is not matching up with how people are perceiving you online. Here's another one before. So this is Jana, this is her before. And as you can see, it, you know, things aren't lined up. It just looks really unprofessional. And here is her after. Everybody's website and style is different. It's how do we tell your story? How should your story be told online? How is your company being perceived online? Think about, is it being perceived as like an affordable type of company, a luxury type of company? The perception is in like the way you're communicating, what photos you have. Are you using professional photographer? What type of, you know, photos are you showing? Are you showing a picture of a bathroom that's totally custom with a huge, like custom, beautiful tub? Or are you showing, you know, a bedroom with, you know, window coverings? Or, you know, are you just showing like small changes, big changes? Also, like, how are you communicating in the copy, how you are communicating to all the messaging and the content for the copywriting can also position you as affordable or luxury. So like if you're saying in the copy that like you'll work within their budget and you're affordable, that's who you're going to attract. Is your company being perceived as like doing small projects or large projects? How are you communicating that visually in the content, the copywriting, even in the keywords. Think about, like, if we're understanding who you are and what you're selling, selecting those keywords that are also going to attract, that your ideal client is going to use to search with, is super important. So is it being perceived as a startup or as an authority? I can't tell you how many people that I talk to that are designers that have been in business a long time, and I'm looking at them online thinking that they're like a startup, they're not doing larger projects, and then I talk to them and I'm totally shocked at all the value they're delivering and the projects they're doing and how long they've been in business. So you know, that's where there's a misalignment. You want those things to be lined up, so it's perceived online to match up with the true value you're offering. Here is an example of a logo before and after. So we want your logo to also be perceived as professional, like a professional designer. We want, somebody wants to hire somebody who pays attention to all the details, everything. They're looking at everything to like understand, like they want your logo to be like beautiful and like look like a designer. They want, you know, how you dress, or the background of your Zoom video, or, you know, if you're looking really messy and your website layout is really messy, everything's super messy, right? Then they're gonna lose trust. They're not gonna have as much trust in you and your company. Pay attention to the details. Here's a website before. Tana, we have so many beautiful designers. Tana's a beautiful designer, and here was her before. It was just a mess. And she has won so many awards and been published so many times. But, you know, think about if somebody finds, you know, a website online, they're only going to give that website, even the top part of that website, they're not even going to scroll down, just about 3 seconds. So you really have to get them interested and to trust your company like right away. And here is her after. So it just has a totally different look. Absolutely, like, invest in professional photography. You don't have to photograph everything. We just need like a few photos that are really high quality, that are taken of the types of projects that you want to be doing. Your brand is how your company is being perceived by those who experience it. It's more than just your logo. It's your story, your style, your work, your values, your messaging. Like, it's everything. It's the gut feeling that someone gets every time they interact with you and your business. So are you showing up as an A+ player? That's what I want to see. Like, show up the best you can in every way. Is your brand includes both brand experiences and brand assets. So I'm going to go over the difference in those. So think about brand experiences. Messaging, if you're on time, how easy it is to work with you, what you're wearing, content, like how responsible you are, your website functionality, office organization, consistently. Like if you're showing up super unorganized and unprofessional to every meeting, they're not going to trust, especially like in that first, like if you're not doing what you say that you're going to do, or showing up late and not showing up professional during the sales process, they're not going to trust you when it comes to delivering their end product. So think about the brand experiences, and then the brand assets are like your logo, your website, social media profiles, Google business profile, Google reviews, business cards, sales presentation, proposals, invoices. Like ideally, you want all these assets to be really professional looking. Elements of your brand assets. So elements like colors. What color tells your story? Is it bright? Is it, is it like a blue gray? Is it trendy? Is it neutral? What color is telling your story? And sometimes I know we get designers come to us and it's like, I think I have a sample of one of them, like our designer, Kathy, like she came to us and she had all this bright green, and then she wasn't using any bright green in any of her work, right? So it didn't match. It didn't really reflect her brand. So changing that whole color palette made her colors match the style of work that she's doing and not compete online with her work also. Typefaces, are you more, is the work that you're doing more of a script, or is it a sans serif, or is it a combination, or is it super modern? Like what typefaces match you and the style of your work? Photos. What photos do we want to highlight that are going to tell your story? Like if you're really trying to focus on doing kitchens and bathrooms, then the photos that are highlighted like on your homepage should be those type of photos. Graphic elements. A mistake that I see some people make is like everything is looking beautiful and then they have like graphic elements that look more like clip art, right? That's going to not look as professional. So we just want to make sure the graphic elements are in line with your overall brand look and feel. Hierarchy of elements. We don't want everything screaming at you. We want to lead them down a path, tell them a story, like, is the headline sizes, think about, like, I'm also a oil painter. So it's just like if you're designing, if you had all your elements, like when you're designing, screaming for attention, then if you have too many focal points, you have no focal point. So think about hierarchy of elements, white space, messaging, things lining up, type of content, social proof. So let's look at some logos. The elements of the logo, again, I said design, colors, typeface, hierarchy of elements, white space, company name, tagline. I mean, you might have thought of all these elements, but I really want you to think about like each of those and how it's telling a story and how it's being perceived. So like here is Angela, there's like the before and the after. So how her company is being perceived, like the logo is telling that. that story. Think of like a high-end restaurant, high-end boutique, or a nice hotel. Think about like where your clients are spending, what type of client, like where they're shopping, what type of stores they're going to, what type of hotels they're going to, what type of restaurants they're going to, right? That luxury look and feel, that's what we're looking for. Here is another one. Here is Linda before and after. So it doesn't matter what style, it still has that like high-end design type of feel. Here is a designer who is in New York. So her work is very like kind of moody, more dramatic. And then let's look at some websites. Elements of the website, again, all these elements are super important. What is super important to consider when you're developing a website? So strategy, absolutely. Like if you're not thinking about who you need to start with, who is your ideal client? What are you trying to sell them? Right? Understanding that. What is all the value you're offering? Like that's how you need to do that step one. So you know what SEO keywords like to select. So you know what the design should be like, what the layout, the colors, the photos, the elements, like all of those, the messaging, the copywriting, the typefaces, like all of it. Ideally social proof, like for example, if you're specializing in kitchens, let's have some social proof like testimonials and everything that is about kitchens. Here's a website before and after. And I know I have several, I'll just go through them because I just really want you to understand, like, see how the colors and the fonts and the layout and everything is looking messy, is not showing off her work, it's more competing with her work. And then here is the after. So some tips to winning your dream clients. Create a brand positioning strategy, messaging, and design concepts to attract and convert your ideal client. So important. Write copy to build trust and position your business as an authority. It's also super important. And sometimes it's hard to do that by yourself. It's, when you're working with somebody who specializes in strategy, they'll know how to like pull out that information, get that information. I know when we're working with clients, one of the things we do is, they fill out a questionnaire, but we're also meeting with them one-on-one, because a lot of times it's hard for the designers to really understand and communicate all the value they're offering, when I'm working with clients and pulling that information out, they're like, maybe they didn't even think that information was that important, that maybe they didn't even realize that it needed to be communicated. And then we might be saying, oh my gosh, like that is super important. We need to communicate that because your ideal client is going to be interested. Create a logo and website design that encourages your ideal client to take that next step. So it needs to get interest and take that next step. Consistently update your website and online profiles to build trust and validate your business online. That is also super important for ranking for SEO. So we want to, consistently be making changes and working to improve your visibility online to get found. In fact, I was just talking with the person who heads up our SEO team, and they were talking about all the changes in Google. Google algorithms are changing all the time, which changes how Google is going to rank your website. So constantly keeping update, making sure that your website is reviewed like quarterly, and those changes, those SEO keyword strategies, like, are updated consistently to make sure that your business stays visible and doesn't start dropping in the ranks. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today's Taylor is going to put into chat a link again to our free brand website and SEO audit. So if you haven't taken advantage of that, definitely do that. You can also follow us on Instagram, and then I will get to the Q&A to see if anybody has any questions that you might want answered. But I hope this information was really valuable. I know I went over brand positioning multiple times, but I just really want you guys to really understand the importance of it, of your online brand. Obviously, we talked at the beginning about traffic, getting the traffic to come to your site, but also, like, your website needs to generate interest, build trust, and convert. The first step is to build that foundation. Make sure your website is going to generate interest and build trust and convert, because the last thing you want to do is, invest a whole bunch into your traffic and send a whole bunch of traffic where you're either spending time or you're investing in somebody else, like helping you send traffic to a website that's not going to convert and not going to get you your leads. So that's why I'm super passionate about this. It's super important to make sure that that website is going to convert and get your lead to go to that next step. Otherwise, you're wasting a whole bunch of resources. I don't have a free keyword research tool. We do use SEMrush, which is quite expensive, honestly, but it's an amazing tool. I don't recommend you buy it for yourself because it's just too much. I don't really have a free one. You can just kind of do a search online and see what words come up in the Google search bar, but it definitely doesn't tell you like the volume or anything like that. Unless SEO is very complex, so it does take, I don't know how much you know about SEO, but it is quite complex to implement yourself. Probably the biggest thing I would recommend that you do if you're trying to do it yourself is make sure you have a Google business profile, optimize that Google business profile, and work on getting reviews on Google reviews. That would be a big one. For your website programming, it takes, understanding what you're offering, selecting the keywords using like SEMrush, and then writing the content and using those keywords in the content, and then programming it into the website as the website's being built. So it's super important to think about SEO and keywords as you're building your website. A mistake I see a lot of people make is they, build a website and then they think of SEO afterwards. Well, you really need to be programming those keywords into the code. So it needs to be thought of before it's programmed. Otherwise, you basically have to reprogram the whole site to optimize it for SEO, which is double the investment. It just doesn't make sense. So think about it, step one. I really think that anytime you touch your website, you should be thinking about SEO. If you're writing a blog, then the only reason to write the blog is if you're going to be trying to get that, online traffic from SEO. So it needs to be, the keywords need to be researched, and it needs to be programmed into your website every time correctly. And everything can be optimized, images, navigation, URLs, title tags, headlines. I mean, there's so many different things. So I hope that was helpful. And thank you so much for joining us. And sign up for that audit if you haven't already. All right. Thank you so much.